What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at my second set of battles on day 1 of Go Battle League for Season 7, and as you guys can see over there, I'm currently 20-0 on a 20-game win streak. If you guys haven't seen my Shadow Hypno Scrafty Umbreon gameplay, you guys can check that video out on the channel. That was my first 10-0, and this second team here of Galarian Stunfisk, Jumpluff, and Pelipper brought me another solid 10-0 set. So we're currently 20-0, which is really cool. These games are really solid. I have a lot of great opponents that I face off against. So let me know what you guys think about this team and these battles. Be sure to smash that like button for the Jumpluff Spice, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, getting into this first battle here. I kind of mixed up the battles here, but you guys can see we have Stunfisk on the lead versus Toxicroak. Obviously a terrible matchup. We're going to go straight into the Pelipper right here. And they bring in a defense form, Deoxys. Now, we have to watch out for Thunderbolt, right? Double super effective. That water flying typing right here on Pelipper. So we're going to go ahead and shield this first charge move. I'm guessing it's going to be a Thunderbolt, and it was. Fantastic. Now, in order to win this matchup, we need to get a shield bait here with a Weather Ball and look to land that Hurricane. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball. We get a shield, which is fantastic, and now we can win the race to the next charge move, and we're going to go ahead and go for this Hurricane. This does massive neutral damage to a defense form Deoxys, so we'll have to see what they do. They let it go. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and shield this next charge move, take that switch advantage back, and farm up here with Pelipper, as their hardest counter to it was a defense form Deoxys, which means their backline may be pretty weak. So we'll have to see what decides to come in. It is going to be an Obstagoon, so they're running a triple counter team right here. We're just going to start spamming Weather Balls. Weather Ball does neutral damage in the matchup, and I'm actually going to save this Pelipper. I'm going to swap now into Jumpluff right away because Pelipper is my win condition against that Toxicroak as well. Now, I know a Gunk Shot is coming. You guys can see it all day long. They are loading up for the trash can right here because I am unshielded. So we're going to go ahead and just go for that Aerial Ace for the needed chip damage. Charge me now coming through. I know this is Gunk Shot. I'll go ahead and boom myself, but the thing is, Jumpluff's so thick, everyone. Boom! We still survive, which is just crazy. We're going to go ahead and throw the Aerial Ace right now, and they swap straight into Toxicroak, which means I'm going to get this final shield. Otherwise, we're going to be hitting for super effective damage, and we do. That's a lot of damage right there. And like I said, I saved the Pelipper here, noticing that Toxicroak was basically their only shot at winning, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Pelipper now and look to throw this Weather Ball right away. I don't want them to get to a potential Sludge Bomb and take us out. But this is going to be a good battle. There's really nothing they can do. I have a Galarian Stunfisk still with full health, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. So that Jumpluff, super thick there in game 1, but Pelipper definitely taking over for us. Alright, moving into this next battle. We have a Galarian Stunfisk here versus Politoed. Terrible matchup. We're going to go ahead and swap right away into the Pelipper, and they're staying in. And I'm worried it's going to be a Blizzard. But they threw energy way too quick. This is Weather Ball. It's going to be resisted, which is fine. So if this opponent wanted to get a shield for me, they definitely needed to build up to a Blizzard. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. And we see them swap now into an Alolan Ninetales, which is fine. I have double Weather Balls ready to go already. And we're only taking neutral from the Powder Snow. Actually, it's Charm here, actually. It's going to be a Charm Ninetales. So we're definitely going to be getting a lot of shields from our opponent and even potentially switching the matchup because that's just how deadly Pelipper is on Safe Swap. So now we're not going to be able to get to 4 Weather Balls, but we do get to 3. This is either going to take out the Alolan Ninetales or get extremely low. Oh, it's extremely low, and we aren't able to win the switch, but we did get shield advantage. So what we're going to do is bring in the Galarian Stunfisk now and farm down. Hopefully they don't have a charge move, which they don't. Beautiful. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to time a swap into Jumpluff to soak a Weather Ball. Now, this first Weather Ball, we're going to go ahead and let go. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but that's okay. Now I'm going to count 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and swap, catching the next Weather Ball on the Jumpluff while maintaining a good amount of energy there on Galarian Stunfisk. So that is going to be massively resisted. And they do have a Galvantula in the back, which is perfect. Aerial Ace right here is going to do quite a bit of neutral damage in this matchup due to that bug electric typing. So yeah, quite a bit right there, which is nice, but we do have shield advantage, which is very important. If we are in a 1-to-1 shield situation right here, it would not be looking good, but that is why I didn't shield on Galarian Stunfisk, knowing I can survive 1 Weather Ball, and what we're looking to do is hopefully get another Aerial Ace, but they do throw the charge move right away, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and shield right here. We don't want these lunges to hit us, and now we're just going to go for a double aerial ace right here, and then look to potentially swap into Galarian Stunfisk to get ahead on energy, because Jumpluff again is still a win condition for us. So we're going to go ahead and throw this next one. Actually, no, I decided to swap right away and catch the next charge move here on Galarian Stunfisk. Now, we're almost at an Earthquake as well. You guys saw we have 2 aerial aces there on Jumpluff, so win condition is looking pretty good. They're not swapping out, so I'm going to go ahead and throw Rock Slide after building up to near 2 just before they're able to get off another charge move right here. Politoed is energy dry as well, which is fine. We're just going to go straight for this Rock Slide. I don't think I'd have enough time to get to Earthquake in case they have a bit of energy that I wasn't aware of, that they could get to Weather Ball before I got to Earthquake. So yeah, that was a good call, just getting off the Rock Slide, and then Jumpluff does have Energy Ball ready to go, and then we're going to go ahead and use that and take out this Politoed right here, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. So this team is a fine dance of energy and shields and swaps and dancing around. It's a lot of fun to use. All right, moving into this next battle. We have Galarian Stunfisk here versus a Medicham. Terrible matchup. We're going to go ahead and swap right away into that Pelipper, start getting ahead on energy, and they do bring in a Azumarill, which is actually a pretty nice matchup for us, a nice neutral matchup. If we can land this Hurricane, we are looking very, very good to switch this matchup right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for this Hurricane, and it lands, which is beautiful. So now what we're looking to do is maintain switch advantage right here. I don't want to give up 2 shields, but I will give up 1. So we're going to go ahead and shield this first move. It is going to be a Play Rough, which means they're probably running Play Rough Hydro Pump and not Play Rough Ice Beam. Otherwise, we'd probably see those Ice Beams coming through. We're going to go ahead and go for a Weather Ball right here. This isn't going to KO, but hopefully it gets a shield, but it doesn't. That is unfortunate. Now, I know I can survive a Play Rough and an Ice Beam from this range, so I'm going to go ahead and let this go. It is going to be a Play Rough, which is fine, and now I can commit to the Farm Down. Again, landing that Hurricane is essential in this Azumarill matchup, so you can flip the matchup by farming down and just mirror shields or just give up shield advantage. Now, we do see an Umbreon come in, so Jumpluff is definitely looking pretty nice to close endgame for us, so we're going to go ahead and go for Weather Balls. Hopefully I can get to another one in time. I just wanted to do some chip damage, potentially get a shield, as they may fear the Hurricane damage, but Umbreon is very, very thick, so they're likely not shielding, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and bring in Galarian Stunfisk here and look to overload on as much energy as we can, but they swap right away to Medicham, which is fine. Now, this is a very dangerous matchup, as you guys may know. They could have Ice Punch, which does do double super effective, but they don't. They only have Psychic, which means this is looking pretty good for us. Jumpluff is extremely bulky, but those Ice Punches, if this was an Ice Punch Medicham, things would not be looking good, but not every Medicham is running Ice Punch, which is great here for Jumpluff. So we're going to go ahead and look to overload as much energy as we can and fast move denial them as often as we can. So we're going to go ahead and shield this next charge move. It is a Psychic, which is great. This is telling me now that maybe they don't have Power Up Punch either, which means they might have Dynamic Punch. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and go for another Aerial Ace. My switch clock is coming back up, and I know I'm near an Earthquake as well. So we're going to go ahead and go for this Aerial Ace. I'm going to try to time the Psychic into the Galarian Stunfisk. So I'm going to go ahead and swap, but they didn't throw it. They swapped right away themselves into Umbreon, which gave me another huge win condition right here. I was hoping to catch that Psychic there on Galarian Stunfisk, which would have been really nice. But now we're going to go ahead and just soak these foul plays right here. Look to go for an Earthquake and then hard farm down and really force that energy here on Medicham. Again, we're predicting, since they've gone for back-to-back Psychics, they could still have Power Up Punch, which is maybe why they swapped right away, because they couldn't really do anything because Earthquake would have taken them out. Or they have Dynamic Punch, which means we're going to force that energy, and then Jumpluff will be able to close this game out for us. So this is going to come down to the wire right here. If I got to commit to this hard farm, and then we're going to go ahead and go straight for this Earthquake versus the Medicham. They decide to throw energy right away, which this could be this actually could be a Power-Up Punch, but it's actually Dynamic Punch, which is beautiful. And then we bring in the Jumpluff right here. We're one fast move away from the Aerial Ace, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. I think if they would have potentially, knowing that they do have Dynamic Punch, if they would have thrown the Dynamic Punch into Galarian Stunfisk, this would have been definitely a different game, but I still think I would have been able to take it there with Jumpluff in the end. Alright, so we have Galarian Stunfisk on the lead versus Alolan Marowak. A very positive lead for us, somewhat neutral depending on who wants to shield, but they decide to swap out into Superior. So I decided to go into the Pelipper. Maybe not the best choice. Jumpluff probably could have been a bit better. considering that we do super effective damage with that aerial ace. And I'm forgetting that, you know, this Leaf Tornado is actually very spammy and very deadly here versus a Pelipper, because it has a chance, not only is it doing neutral damage, but also has a chance to lower our attack, which is unfortunate. So we go for a shield bait right there with the Weather Ball, and we get it, which is beautiful. Now I am going to have to start shielding right here. Again, seeing that Alolan Marowak on the lead means I really need to keep this switch advantage, because Jumpluff wants nothing to do with Alolan Marowak, so I will be committing 2 shields right here. Now my only win condition for this game, because I made a miscall on this swap, is to go for a Weather Ball right here to get a shield, and then a Hurricane to win the matchup, because as you guys saw, my attack dropped even more, which is unfortunate. So we do get a shield, beautiful. Now we have to go for this Hurricane right here, and we do get the Hurricane, which is amazing. This is going to be taking out the Superior, and now we have lost our Galarian Stunfisk into that Alolan Marowak, which is definitely ideal. So Pelipper is going to go down to fast moves, and now we're going to go ahead and bring in that Galarian Stunfisk. I need to be careful of them swapping. You guys know that Alolan Marowaks are great at counting. Or then, you know, the Alolan Marowak isn't great at counting fast moves, but opponents who use Alolan Marowaks typically are pretty good at counting fast moves, so I overcharge a bit and go straight for Earthquake, and they weren't swapping out as well, which tells me whatever's in the back is very weak to Galarian Stunfisk, and it's going to be a Registeel. Now, I am very worried about a Focus Blast coming in, so I decided to swap. In hindsight, looking at how much energy I had overcharged right there, I definitely could have just thrown the Earthquake, then swapped to Jumpluff. So now I've given my opponent a potential win condition if they manage their energy well. Now what I also need to do with this Jumpluff, seeing how much damage that Flash Cannon did, I need to start throwing charge moves. Firstly, the Energy Ball to do a bit more damage, and then I need to start throwing Aerial Aces here, because I'm recognizing that this Registeel can farm me down, and I need to delay this Switch Clock as much as I can in order to get off that Earthquake. So I'm going to go ahead and start throwing Aerial Aces right here, knowing that my Switch Clock is coming back up. This Registeel, I do not want them to farm me down, so I'm going to go ahead and throw an Aerial Ace. The Switch Clock is just coming back up, and I'm going to go ahead and throw another one right here. In hindsight, I should have just swapped the second it came back up and gone for Earthquake, but hopefully they're not catching on that that's exactly what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and swap and go for Earthquake right now, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Definitely could have played that a bit better. Throwing the Earthquake right away, then swapping a Jumpluff would have been a good battle. Stunfisk on the lead versus Galvantula. Very, very positive matchup right here. We'll have to see what they swap into. They swap into an Umbreon. So I can't directly go into either of my Pokemon in the back because they're not hard counters to this Umbreon. So what I need to do first is throw this Earthquake to do quite a bit of neutral damage. And then I want that Umbreon to throw a Foul Play right here, which they do. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and let this go, tank it here on the Galarian Stunfisk, then I'm going straight into that Pelipper, considering that it is the weakest matchup to Galvantula, and I can actually win this matchup against Umbreon as long as I'm spamming these Weather Balls, considering it's also at 50% health, right? So we're going to go ahead and just tank these foul plays right here. We're going to build up to that Hurricane. Now I will have to start shielding myself here soon. You guys saw how much damage those foul plays are doing. So I'm going to start shielding as well. I need to maintain that switch advantage. And now we're going to be in spamming these Weather Balls right here. It says neutral damage. It's not going to be enough to KO Umbreon, but they may want to start shielding, which they do. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and shield myself again. I got to keep that Galarian Stunfisk on top of the Galvantula, and we're going to go ahead and build up to 2 Weather Balls right now and throw this. The first one I think it should be enough to take it out. Otherwise, it's just barely not going to be enough. So we do get a second shield actually, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this next Weather Ball. If this isn't enough to take it out, I think I can get it with fast moves before they get to another charge move, which is barely not, and I am able to farm down right there. We get a lot of lag, but the Umbreon does go down. Now, Galvantula is going to come back in. This is what's great about Pelipper as well, is its Weather Ball right here does massive neutral damage to Galvantula, which is always nice. So that's going to get it to 50% HP, and they decide to swap to Azumarill, and that's basically going to seal their fate right here. We have a Jumpluff ready to go. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering, how much damage does an Ice Beam do to a Jumpluff? Well, we're about to find out. Jumpluff is so thick, everyone. My goodness, it can take an Ice Beam like a champ. That's double super affected, right? The grass flying typing. And Energy Balls right here do massive damage as well. So we're going to be able to get to 2. energy balls before they get to another Ice Beam right here, and that is basically going to be a good battle. We still have Galarian Stunfisk for that Galvantula, and we actually might be able to take out Galvantula here with the Jumpluff because we have that Aerial Ace, right? So we're going to be able to get to the Aerial Ace in time. We saw how much damage this does before for that neutral, so it might just be enough. If not, it's going to be very, very close. So it gets it down to 1 HP, and we can bring in the Galarian Stunfisk right here, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. So if you see those Umbreon safe swaps, it's a team effort to really take it down and maintain that switch advantage. You don't just want to swap straight into Pelipper right away. All right, moving into this next battle. Let's see how this one goes. We have Stunfisk on the lead versus Skarmory. Very, very positive matchup right here. You love to see it. And they're staying in, which is fine by me. I'm just going to be throwing Rock Slides off of the count. So 5 Mud Shots is a Rock Slide. I don't want to throw it on 5 because I don't want them to swap into something that can soak it for resisted damage, right? So I always want to be kind of over farming a bit. Now, we're not going to shield any charge moves. The flying ones, Sky Attack, even Flash Cannon are not going to do too much here to Galarian Stunfisk. And we do see them try to swap into Medicham on that Rock Slide, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Pelipper right here. And we'll have to see what charge moves they have. Now, we're going to go ahead and shield as well. We want to maintain this positive switch advantage. We don't want the Jumpluff. It's actually an Ice Punch, too. We don't want the Jumpluff versus the Skarmory. That would be bad news bears. So what we're going to do is just keep throwing these Weather Balls, keep doing super effective damage with the Wing Attack, and really chip away this Medicham because we are eventually going to be able to outspam it when it comes to Weather Ball here versus Ice Punch plus the Weather Balls. Will do quite a bit of neutral damage. So we're going to go ahead and shield ourselves. Now it's going to be a race to this final charge move, and I think I can get there before the Medicham does get to the Ice Punch. So we're going to go ahead and get to that Weather Ball right here. This is going to be taking out Medicham, and then we can realign Galarian Stunfisk into that Skarmory, but we'll have to see what they decide to bring in right here. We're probably going to see the Skarmory come back in, which we do, which is great. Pelipper can do a lot of neutral damage as well. With this Weather Ball, it's definitely... Man, Weather Ball spam is beautiful here for Pelipper. It's a great Pokemon here for the Great League. And we get the Skarmory very, very low. Now, they also decide to throw their energy, which is beautiful for us. That means we can come in with this Galarian Stunfisk and look to throw that Rock Slide, but we also got to anticipate a swap. And they're not swapping, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Rock Slide right here. This should be taking out the Skarmory. And we'll have to see what the final Pokemon is going to be. And it is going to be a Bastion. So Galarian Stunfisk definitely putting in work right here. The core of Galarian Stunfisk and Pelipper is extremely strong in the Great League. And then the Jumpluff is just a really nice addition right there to handle a lot of the fighters, handle the waters, handle Azumarill, as you guys have seen in these battles. All right, moving into this next one. We have Stunfisk on the lead versus Azumarill. Okay. So we'll have to see how we play this matchup out. I'm going to go ahead and go for an Earthquake. But what you guys are going to notice is my opponent does not build up to a Hydro Pump. They're throwing an Ice Beam right away, which tells me they probably have Play Rough Ice Beam, and I'm not going to shield right here. So what I can actually do is go for an Earthquake. This is going to do a lot of neutral damage in the matchup and really start to get me ahead in this game. So we do land it, which is beautiful, and now I'm going to go ahead and just go for a Rock Slide. This Rock Slide is going to do neutral damage as well, and we may get a shield from our opponent. If we do get a shield, I'm just going to swap straight into that Pelipper to maintain the Galarian Stunfisk for endgame, so we do swap into the Pelipper, and they decide to swap now into a Snorlax, which is perfectly fine with me. What I'll do here is go for a Hurricane. Now, I'm not going to shield this first Body Slam. I think maintaining shields for Galarian Stunfisk and Jumpluff might be a bit better, considering their only counter to a Flyer is this Snorlax, which means Jumpluff might do pretty well endgame. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Hurricane. We land it, which is beautiful. Because they only had one shield left, it's definitely worth going for that Hurricane right there. And what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and commit one shield to hard farm with this Pelipper so that I have 2 Weather Balls ready to go on the back end to take out the Azumarill or do a lot of neutral damage to that third Pokemon. So we do farm down. We'll likely see the Azumarill come back in. No, it's going to be, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think they swapped, but this looks like it is potentially a Venusaur right here, which it is a Venusaur, so I'm going to go ahead and go for double Weather Ball. We did get a shield right there, which is great. They had to respect the potential Hurricane, and this Weather Ball will do some nice chip damage. Now, Jumpluff can really come into this right here. And what you guys are going to see is a really weird glitch happen to me. I'm going to go ahead and shield the potential Sludge Bomb. I think it's going to do more damage than an Ice Beam would, so I do shield the Sludge Bomb. But my Pokemon just swaps without, I could have just gone for an Aerial Ace, but my Pokemon decided to swap. So now I have to go for a Rock Slide versus this Azumarill, which is fine. This is still going to take it out. I think I still can win this game right here. Because Venusaur is going to have to throw its energy versus Galarian Stunfisk in order to take us out. Now, I'm not sure why I didn't even click the switch button. That's the thing. It just swapped for me. Like Galarian Stunfisk, just like throw me in, coach. I can take down this Venusaur. So what we're going to do is just go for Aerial Ace. It does do super effective damage, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent right there. Moving into this next battle, we're going to go ahead and have Stunfisk here versus Abomasnow, Shadow Abomasnow. Very dangerous Pokemon on the lead, but they do decide to swap out now into the Azumarill, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the Jumpluff. We saw what this Jumpluff can do to Azumarills. We know it can survive an Ice Beam, and that's very important not to give up a shield right here first. We want that Ice Beam to hit us. Reason being, when that Abomasnow comes back in and we win this switch advantage, we don't want them to have a lot of health to farm down, right? Otherwise, the Azumarill wouldn't shield at all right here, and they just come in with Abomasnow and hard farm. So we're going to go ahead and throw these Energy Balls. We do get a shield, which is beautiful, and I know I can outpace this Azumarill to charge moves, which means I will now give up a shield as well. Plus, we're resisting those bubbles, which is very important because we can survive. As you guys can see, those bubbles are doing nothing right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shield this Jumpluff. I don't need to go for an Energy Ball now. I can go for an Aerial Ace for neutral damage. So we're just going to keep farming, and we're going to go ahead and go for that Aerial Ace. But they do decide to swap into an Alolan Marowak, which really works out because this Aerial Ace does do neutral damage right here, which is always nice. And we're going to go ahead and go into that Pelipper right now. Weather Ball is basically going to near one-shot it, and we do get to it very, very quickly. So they will have to shield. Otherwise, this Alolan Marowak is basically going to go down. So they don't decide to shield, which is fine by me. I'm not going to shield myself. I know Azumarill is basically extremely low. Abomasnow is basically at a little bit of energy, so we need to keep this Pelipper alive, save the shields for Galarian Stunfisk, and just throw this Weather Ball right away. Just in case they decided to throw a Weather Ball at us, I want to do some extra chip damage here, because any extra damage is going to be very crucial for this endgame, and they did decide to throw their energy, which is fine. My win condition now is with Galarian Stunfisk, so I'm going to go ahead and save that shield. A double Rock Slide right here. We're already at 1, so we're going to go ahead and throw it right away. This is going to do super effective damage because of that ice typing there on the Abomasnow. We'll probably be getting a shield as well, but they decide to let it go, which is fine. The Azumarill is going to come back in. We're going to go ahead and throw this next Rock Slide right here. And that is basically going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. So they actually do decide to shield as well, but, you know, the game's over. I'm going to go ahead and shield this next charge move. Probably going to be a Hydro Pump. They want to go for the Hail Mary, and they do throw the Hydro Pump, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and now go for this Rock Slide, and that will be taking out the Azumarill, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. So a lot of great games here against my opponents. Pelipper, Jumpluff, Galarian Stunfisk, all taking over some of these individual matches and doing incredibly well for me here on day 1, going 10-0 for us. So as you guys can see, another 5-0 right there, and we went 20-0 so far. I will lose eventually. It's just really cool that my longest win streak in Season 6 was 9, and now my longest win streak is on day 1 with 20, which is really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys made it all the way to the end right here, be sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the channel and the video. Let me know what you guys think about this team and these battles. How is Go Battle League Season 7 going for you? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.